America is the richest and most powerful country in history, but America's rise to number one was actually quite unexpected. In fact, most of North America was ignored for more than 100 years. After it was discovered, here's a map that was made right before Christopher Columbus discovered America. The Vikings said they had discovered an island somewhere over here, but no one realized that it was actually a continent, so Columbus believed that he could find a trade route to Asia by sailing west. But actually he found some islands in the Caribbean Sea. Columbus didn't find the spices he was expecting, but he still believed that he was close to India, so he called the natives Indians, got some goodies, and took them back to the king and queen of Spain. Hey, your majesties, I just got back from Asia. Great, where are the spices? Well, we haven't found the spices yet, but they've got lots and lots of gold. Now you're talking. Columbus, go back, tell them all to be Christians, and bring back that gold. A few years before Columbus claimed the West Indies for Spain, the Portuguese had discovered that they could reach Asia by sailing around Africa, so Spain and Portugal drew a line right down the middle of the map, and they agreed that all the non-Christian lands on this side of the line would belong to Portugal, and everything on the other side would belong to Spain. So the Portuguese sailed to Asia and built a huge trading empire, and the Spanish got busy conquering their half of the world. All of the interesting parts of the Americas were down here, where there was lots of gold, silver, and people, so that's where the Spanish went actually. Christians who outlawed bad stuff like gambling and celebrating Christmas soon. Lots and lots of people were coming to America, and before long the East Coast to redraw the map. France gave half of Louisiana to Spain before the war was over to make sure Britain didn't get it. Then, after the war, France had to give the other half of Louisiana to Britain. France also had to give Canada to Britain. Now Britain had lots of land, America, but Britain had also spent lots of money on the war, and now they needed money. Hey, colonies, you know. That expensive war we helped you win. Yeah, thanks for the help. Sure, no problem. Be the way we're going to start collecting lots and lots of taxes to pay for all the help we give you. What you never help us, we're the ones who are always helping you. And how can you tax us if we don't get to vote? The colonists weren't happy with the new taxes, and the disagreement turned into a fight, and from a fight into a revolution on the 4th of July 1776. The Americans declared their independence from Great Britain, and was the beginning of the United States of America, right? Not quite. It would be 5 more years before the Americans won their war of independence, and after they had won their freedom. They had a problem. The government they had created was a complete mess. Their 13 colonies had essentially become 13 independent countries that were only united in name. The new nation was failing, and it was failing fast, so the Founding Fathers wrote a new constitution and created an entirely new federal government. That actually worked. The new constitution became official when 9 states had ratified it, and in 1789 George Washington was elected the first president of the United States. But the USA was only this big, and all the land over here belonged to Spain. So how did America get more land? Well, over in France, a guy named Napoleon seized power and started conquering Europe. Napoleon also wanted to build an empire in America, so he made a deal with Spain that would give Louisiana back to France. But the Americans needed to use the Mississippi River to send goods to and from other places, and they were afraid of what Napoleon might do if he controlled the river. So America asked France to sell New Orleans to them. You know my plans for a great empire in North America, but now I must invade Britain. We can build our empire in America after we defeat the British. But if the Americans discover our plans for America, they will support Britain, which could be fatal. But if we sell Louisiana to the Americans, they will be our friends forever, and British will be ours. It would be foolish to sell our largest territory, and the Americans only want New Orleans enough. I've made up my mind. We will sell it. All the money will fund our war with Britain. And so America bought Louisiana for $15 million. America had just doubled in size, and that was good, because America's population were also almost doubling every 20 years in those days. The average American family had 7 children, and all those kids needed some place to live, so lots of